All right, so I've copied our summary table down, and now we want to do the Tukey-Kramer procedure. So we recall that we rejected the null hypothesis. We at least have one difference in means between our groups. So the first thing to do is to calculate our absolute differences. So I've got them all here, so Asia to Europe, so that would be um, Asia minus Europe. So let's go ahead and do all of these. So Asia to Europe, so that would be 49.2 minus 40.6 is 8.6. And so our absolute difference here is 8.6. Now doing the same thing, Asia to North America, so that'd be 49.2 minus 37.9 is 11.3. So 11.3. And now I'm just going to keep doing this. So this is Asia minus South America, so 34.6, 14.6. Europe to North America, so that is 40.6 minus 37.9 is 2.7, 2.7. And then Europe to North America, so 40.6 minus 34.6, 6. And then finally North America to South America, so 37.6 minus 34.6 is 3.3. Okay, so then we need to recall that our CR is equal to Q alpha square root of MSW over 2 times 1 over NJ plus 1 over NK. Okay, so let's start with our Q. So this would be Q, that's not a Q, Q. So this is with C and minus C degrees of freedom alpha. So that would be Q for 36. So we have N is 40, C is 4, alpha is 0.05, and this will give us 3.81. And again, we're just going to use with software. There are tables in the back of the book. If you want to look at those, feel free, but I'll show us how to do it in a little bit more of a streamlined fashion. Okay, I'm going to call this our standard error. So let's calculate that. So let's have standard error would be the square root. So MSW was 62.76 over 2. And then all our sample sizes were 10, so 1 plus 10 plus 1 over 10. And I get 2.51. So using this table, the standard error, we didn't really have to, I'm going to put 2.51. So it's just here all the way down. This is perhaps kind of a dumb way to do it, but whatever. Okay, so we have our standard error, and now we can actually calculate CR. So this is going to be equal to 3.81 times 2.51 is equal to 9.54. And so we have 9.54. Again, this is kind of a stupid way to do it because I'm writing the same thing over and over again. Okay, so now let's just go back to our approach, which is that, oh, this is kind of messy. Let's focus on this right here. We are going to reject if our absolute difference is bigger than the critical range. That is our rule. So let's take a look. So 9.54 Is 8.6 bigger than 9.54? No. And so we will say not different. Okay, next. Is 11.3 bigger than 9.54? Yes. So we would say different. Is 14.6 bigger than 9.54? Yes. So we would say different. Okay. Now let's just take a look at the rest. Is 2.7 bigger than 9.54? No. Is 6 bigger than 9.54? No. Is 3.3 bigger than 9.54? No. So that means for the rest of these, we would say not different, not different, and not different. So we're going to be doing this in Excel as well, but I wanted to work through this just to try to develop a little bit more understanding. So let's just highlight the two that are actually different from one another, which was Asia to North America and Asia to South America. And that makes sense. Let's actually just go back to our box plot. So we're saying that this is different from this, and we're saying that this is different from this. Those are our differences. We have Asia is different from North America, and Asia is different from South America. Asia is not different from Europe. In fact, Europe's not different from anything, and North America and South America are also not different. So that makes sense. Just looking at this visually, that makes sense. Okay, so now let's just go back down. So let's just quickly go through how we would do the formal hypothesis test. So our first thing is our hypothesis. So we have the null is that mu j equal to mu k for all j not equal to k. And our null, our alternative, is that at least one of these is different. So our second step is alpha. We set alpha equal to the same thing, which is 0.05. The critical range value we calculated to be 9.54. Our rejection region, the absolute difference between mu j minus mu k bigger than the critical range for all j not equal to k. And we already did all of this work, so no need to write it all again. So from our table, we can conclude that the following continents are significantly different at the alpha equals 0.05 level of significance, and we saw there were two. The first was Asia and North America, and the second was Asia and South America. Okay, and that's the entire ANOVA process. We had 4 groups. We wanted to see if the mean was different across these 4 groups. So we did an ANOVA test. We determined that at least one pair of continents were different from one another. And so we moved forward with the Tukey-Kramer procedure to account for the multiple comparison problem. And when we did that, we saw that Asia and North America were different, and Asia and South America were different. And that's the entire process of ANOVA. And we're going to do this example that we've been doing in the notes in the Excel lab.